Part 1. The Pain of the Sacred Exile. You have been treating your loneliness like a sickness, a curse to be cured. But what if you are not sick? What if you are being initiated? What if your solitude is the sacred trial room where you are being forged into a master? If you feel that your isolation has a strange and potent sense of purpose, even in its pain, then you are ready to understand its true meaning. This is not the end of your connection, it is the beginning of your sovereignty. Subscribe to the Hidden Voice, and let us, together, reframe your trial as your greatest honor. Let's begin by acknowledging the unique quality of this loneliness. This is not the simple sadness of being alone. It has a different texture. It feels significant. It is the feeling of being in a sacred exile. The feeling that you have been deliberately separated from the herd for a purpose you cannot yet understand. It is not the chaotic pain of an accident. It is the clean, sharp, and intentional pain of a surgeon's knife, cutting you away from a life that was no longer true. There is a strange nobility in this ache. A silence that is not empty, but filled with a potent presence. You feel as though you are being watched, tested, held in a space that is both a prison and a sanctuary. You are wandering in the desert of your own being. The familiar landmarks of your old life are gone. The comforting voices of the tribe have faded. And in this vast, silent, and sometimes terrifying emptiness, you are faced with only one thing: the raw, untamed, and magnificent truth of your own soul. This is the pain of the trial. The pain of the initiate. You feel, on a deep, intuitive level, that this is not a random misfortune. You sense that this profound isolation is a necessary crucible, a purifying fire, designed to burn away everything that is not essential, everything that is not you. But not understanding the purpose of the fire makes the burning feel like a curse. Part 2. The Nature of Initiation. To end this suffering, we must give it its proper name. You are not in a crisis. You are in an initiation. In every ancient and wise culture on this planet, from the shamans of the Amazon to the mystics of the desert to the sages of the mountains, it was understood that for a human being to access a higher level of power and wisdom, they had to pass through a rite of passage. An initiation. And every initiation, in every tradition, has three distinct and non-negotiable phases. Phase 1. Separation. The initiate is first separated from their tribe, from their family, from everything that is comfortable and familiar. They are taken out of their ordinary world. This is the death of their old identity. Phase 2. The trial. The initiate enters a liminal, in-between space. And in this space, they are subjected to a profound trial, a test. Almost always, this test is undergone in a state of complete and total solitude. It is a journey into the dark, into the unknown, into the very heart of their own fears and their own power. Phase 3. The return. If the initiate successfully passes the trial, they are brought back to the tribe. But they do not return as the same person. They return with a new status, a new name, a new power. They are no longer a child, but an adult. They are no longer a student, but a master. They are no longer a seeker, but a seer. The profound and painful loneliness you are experiencing is your second phase. It is your trial. It is not an accident. It is not a punishment. It is not a sign that you are broken or unlovable. It is a deliberate and sacred ceremony, orchestrated by the deepest, wisest part of your own being, your soul. Your soul has separated you from the tribe of your old life, and it has placed you, with great love and great purpose, into the solitary crucible of your own becoming. It has taken you to the desert, to the mountain, to the silent chamber of your own heart. And it is here, in the solitude, that the great and transformative work of your initiation will be done. You are not being abandoned. You are being consecrated. Part 3. The Somatics of Initiation. This initiation is not just a story, it is a profound energetic event. To navigate it with grace, you must learn to feel its signature in your body, to distinguish the sacred ache of the trial from the ordinary pain of sadness. So, for a moment, tune into the feeling of your loneliness. Go beneath the surface-level story of, "I miss my friends," or, I don't belong. And I want you to feel for a deeper, more subtle quality within the sensation. Beneath the sadness, can you feel a strange sense of nobility? A quiet, dignified stillness. This is not the agitated, self-pitying energy of ordinary loneliness. It is the calm, solemn energy of a king in exile. It is painful, yes, but it is also imbued with a sense of honor. Beneath the feeling of emptiness, can you feel a sense of presence? The silence in your inner world is not a dead, vacant silence. It is a living, humming silence. It is the feeling that even though you are alone, you are not truly alone. You are being held in a vast, intelligent, and watchful space. You are in the presence of your own soul, and of the divine itself. And beneath the confusion of, I don't know what's happening, can you feel a deep, subterranean sense of trust? A quiet, intuitive knowing that, despite all appearances, this process is somehow right. That you are being held in this space for a profound and necessary purpose, even if your conscious mind cannot yet grasp it. This combination of qualities, the noble ache, the pregnant silence, the deep, intuitive trust, is the somatic signature of your initiation. When you can learn to tune into this deeper frequency, your relationship with your own solitude begins to change. You stop seeing it as a curse, and you begin to feel the honor of it. You are not a social outcast. You are an initiate, undergoing a sacred trial. And this recognition alone begins to infuse your pain with a profound and unshakable sense of meaning. Part 4. The Belly of the Whale. This solitary trial, this journey into the dark heart of the unknown, is not a unique or personal affliction. It is the most critical and universal stage of the great archetypal journey of transformation, a journey that has been told in 1,000 myths across 1,000 cultures. The great mythologist Joseph Campbell gave it a name, the hero's journey. And within that journey, there is one specific, terrifying, and absolutely essential phase. Campbell called it the belly of the whale. This is the point in the story where the hero, having left their familiar world, seems to be utterly and completely defeated. They are swallowed by a great beast, trapped in a dark cave, lost in an impenetrable forest. It is the moment of absolute darkness, of total isolation, of symbolic death. The hero is gone, consumed by the abyss. It appears that all is lost. But Campbell, and the myths themselves, teach us that this is not the end. The belly of the whale is not a tomb, it is a womb. It is the place of the most profound transformation. It is in this dark, silent, and solitary space that the hero must let go of their old, limited self. And it is here that they are reborn, resurrected with a new power, a new wisdom, that will allow them to complete their journey. Your loneliness, your feeling of having been swallowed by a great and indifferent darkness, is your belly of the whale. It is your sacred, initiatory space. You have been swallowed by the unknown so that your old, limited, and tribe-dependent self can die. So that the part of you that relied on the external world for its sense of safety and its sense of worth can be fully digested. You are not being punished. You are being transformed. The pain you feel is the pain of that old self, resisting its own dissolution. But you are not that old self. You are the hero. You are the one who is being reborn. The great secret of the belly of the whale is that the way out is not to fight. The way out is to surrender. To allow the old self to be digested. To let go, completely, of who you once were. And to trust that in this dark, silent, and solitary womb, a new, more powerful, and more authentic you is being knitted together, ready to be reborn into the world. Your loneliness is the sacred and necessary darkness that comes before your own personal dawn. Part 5. The Parable of the Soul's Forge. To truly understand the purpose of this intense, solitary trial, we must look to the ancient art of the blacksmith. Let us tell the parable of the soul's forge. Imagine that your soul, in its raw state, is a simple piece of iron ore. It is full of potential, but it is also full of impurities. It is brittle, it is rough, it is undefined. In this state, it is not yet ready for its great purpose. This is the ego, the conditioned self. Now, imagine that the universe is the master blacksmith, and it has a grand and beautiful vision for you. It intends to forge you into a magnificent, razor-sharp, and perfectly balanced sword, a tool of truth, of clarity, of power, an instrument capable of cutting through illusion. So what does the blacksmith do? First, he takes the raw ore of your being and he places it into the forge. The unbearable heat. This is life. This is the phase of awakening, where the heat of your experiences begins to melt down the solidity of your old identity, to burn away the most obvious impurities. But the heat is not enough. To create steel of the highest quality, the blade must be tempered. And so, the blacksmith pulls the glowing white-hot blade from the fire of life, and he plunges it into a barrel of cold, dark water. This is the shock of your solitude. This is your initiation. The sudden, shocking immersion in the cold, silent, and solitary darkness is a profound act of alchemy. This shock is what tempers the steel. It is what rearranges the very molecular structure of your being. It drives out the hidden impurities. It aligns the crystals. It is this very act of being separated from the fire and plunged into the dark that gives the blade its strength, its flexibility, its resilience. A blade that is only heated but never tempered will shatter at the first impact. The pain you feel in your loneliness is the pain of this tempering. It is the shock of the steel as it is plunged into the water. It is not a punishment. It is the most crucial and loving act of the entire process. The master blacksmith is not trying to hurt you. He is imbuing you with an unshakable, inner strength. He is making you not just sharp but resilient. Not just powerful, but flexible. You have been in the fire. And now, you are in the water. It is a lonely and a shocking place to be. But it is here, in this solitary darkness, that your true, unbreakable, and magnificent nature is being forged. Part 6. The Vow of the Initiate. Do you feel the truth of this fiery and watery journey in your own life? Do you recognize your loneliness as the sacred, tempering waters? If this parable gives a new and powerful meaning to your trial, then I invite you to make this space your sacred forge. Subscribe to the Hidden Voice. This is a community for the souls of steel, a place where we honor the fires and the waters that have shaped us. And now, we must consciously and willingly participate in our own tempering. We must stop fighting the darkness of the water, and instead, see it as the loving act of the master blacksmith. This is a vow to honor your own initiation. Find your center. Feel the quiet, unshakable strength that is being forged within you, right in the heart of your solitude. And from this place of emerging power, make this declaration. I now see and understand that my loneliness is not a curse, but a sacred and necessary part of my initiation. I am not being abandoned. I am being tempered. I am not lost. I am in the soul's forge. I release the story that this pain is a mistake. I release the belief that I am broken. I now choose to see my solitude as an act of profound love from a universe that is forging me into a being of unshakable strength. Now, let this vow become the lens through which you view your daily experience. From this day forward, I make a vow to be a willing initiate. I will meet the pain of my solitude not with resistance, but with reverence. I will see it as the evidence of my own becoming. When the feelings of exile and loneliness arise, I will not see them as a sign of my failure. I will see them as the sacred waters, tempering my soul, giving me my strength. I will honor the process. I will stop asking, when will this be over? And I will begin to ask, what is being forged in me today? I will have the courage to remain in the forge, for as long as it takes, trusting in the vision of the master blacksmith. Take a deep, conscious breath, and feel the profound shift. You are no longer a victim of your loneliness. You are a conscious and willing participant in your own magnificent and powerful creation. The pain is no longer meaningless. It is purposeful. The darkness is no longer empty. It is the sacred and loving hand of God, forging you into the master that you were always meant to be. Part 7. The Purpose of the Trial. To fully and willingly embrace your role as an initiate, you must understand the why. Why does the soul insist on this solitary trial? What is being forged in this darkness that could not be forged in the light? The purposes are threefold, and they are the pillars of your new, sovereign self. The first purpose of your initiation is to break your addiction to external validation. For your entire life, your sense of self and your sense of safety have been outsourced. You have looked to others, your parents, your partners, your friends, your society, to tell you who you are, and to tell you that you are okay. Their approval was your food. Their acceptance was your home. This is the state of the spiritual child. The solitary trial of your loneliness is a powerful and deliberate intervention in this addiction. The universe has lovingly removed your external sources of validation. It has cut off your supply. And it has done this to force you to find a new, internal, and unshakable source of your own worth. In the silence of your solitude, there is no one to applaud you, no one to approve of you. And you are faced with a choice: either collapse into a feeling of worthlessness, or find the courage to validate yourself. To approve of yourself. To become the source of your own love. This is the great journey from dependency to sovereignty. The second purpose is to build your inner channel. As long as you were enmeshed with the tribe, your inner world was filled with their noise, their opinions, their fears, their beliefs. It was almost impossible to distinguish the quiet, subtle whisper of your own soul's guidance from the loud, demanding voices of the collective. Your solitude is a sacred act of clearing the signal. It is the universe, creating a deep and profound silence around you, so that you can finally, for the first time, hear the sound of your own intuition. It is in the lonely desert, in the belly of the whale, that you learn to listen not to the world, but to God. You are not just being separated from others, you are being connected, in a much more direct and intimate way, to your own divine source. You are building a clean, clear, and incorruptible channel of inner guidance. The third purpose is to test your commitment. The spiritual path is filled with what are sometimes called fair-weather seekers, those who are in it for the blissful experiences, the feelings of connection, the spiritual sweets. The initiation of loneliness is the great test that separates the seeker from the seer. It is the universe, your own soul, asking you the most profound question: do you love the truth, even when it does not feel good? Do you choose your own soul, even when it costs you your sense of belonging? Your willingness to endure the pain of this solitude, to stay on the path even when all the consolations have been stripped away, is your answer. It is the proof of your commitment. It is the vow of your own heart, declaring that you choose your own authentic being over the comfort of any illusion. And it is this unwavering commitment that forges you into a being of true and unshakable spiritual maturity. Part 8. Rituals for the Initiate. To navigate this sacred trial with grace and power, you need a new set of tools. These are not tools for escaping your solitude, but for inhabiting it more deeply, for extracting its wisdom and its power. These are the rituals of the initiate. The first ritual is the initiate's journal. You will no longer journal as a victim of your loneliness. You will now journal as the hero of your own initiation. At the end of each day, instead of writing about your sadness or your pain in a passive way, you will reframe your experience through the lens of the trial. You will answer these questions: what was the nature of my trial today? E.g., today, my trial was the feeling of being misunderstood by my family. What lesson was being offered to me in this trial? E.g., the lesson was to find my own sense of worth, without needing their approval. What strength was being forged in me through this trial? E.g., the strength of emotional self-reliance was being forged. This practice transforms your perspective. You are no longer cataloging your suffering, you are documenting your training. You are writing the sacred text of your own becoming. The second ritual is to build your sacred altar. Even in the desert, the traveler needs an oasis. You will create a small, physical, sacred space in your home that is dedicated to your initiation. This does not need to be elaborate. It can be a small corner of a room, a shelf on a bookshelf. On this altar, you will place objects that represent the qualities you are forging within you. A stone, to represent your growing strength and stability. A candle, to represent the inner light that never goes out. A feather, to represent your connection to spirit. An image of a master or a teacher who inspires you. Your practice is to spend a few minutes at this altar every single day. You can meditate there, you can do your journaling there. This altar becomes your physical anchor. It is a constant, tangible reminder that you are not just a lonely person in a room. You are an initiate, in a temple, engaged in a sacred and purposeful work. The third ritual is the question, what is being forged? This is your in-the-moment tool for transforming pain into power. When the ache of loneliness feels particularly intense, when the trial feels almost unbearable, your practice is to stop. Take a breath. And instead of the old, disempowering question, why is this happening to me? You will ask a new, powerful, alchemical question. What is being forged in me right now? Is it the steel of resilience? Is it the diamond of clarity? Is it the gold of self-love? Is it the unbreakable quality of compassion? By asking this question, you shift from the passive position of the victim to the active position of the alchemist. You are no longer just enduring the fire. You are consciously participating in your own transformation. You are recognizing that the pain is not a punishment. It is the very pressure that is turning the coal of your old self into the diamond of your soul. Part 9. The qualification of the guide. As you practice these rituals, as you learn to inhabit your solitude as a sacred trial, you begin to understand the ultimate and most selfless purpose of your initiation. This entire arduous journey is not just for you. It is a profound and necessary qualification for your true service to the world. You cannot guide another person through the wilderness unless you have first walked it, alone. You cannot be a true source of strength for others unless your own strength has been tested and forged in the fires of your own trials. You cannot teach another soul how to find their own inner light unless you have first learned to be your own only light in the midst of a profound darkness. Your loneliness, your initiation, is your training ground. It is your medical school. It is your monastery. It is the curriculum that is teaching you, through direct and irrefutable experience, the map of the human soul. Every fear you face and overcome, every illusion you see through, every ounce of strength you forge in the fires of your solitude, it is not just for you. It is a gift you will one day be able to offer to another. When someone comes to you, lost in their own darkness, you will not just offer them theories from a book. You will be able to look them in the eyes and say, with a quiet and unshakable authority, I know this place. I have been here. And I know the way through. This is how a healer is made. This is how a true guide is forged. Not in the comfort of the village, but in the profound and transformative solitude of the wilderness. Your pain is not a detour from your purpose. It is the very thing that is qualifying you for your purpose. Part 10. The honor of the trial. And so we come to the final, great, and empowering inversion. For so long, you have been looking at your loneliness as a sign that you have been abandoned by the universe. As proof that you are unworthy, unlovable, that you have done something wrong. You have seen your trial as a curse. The epiphany, the great and heart-opening reversal of perception, is this. Your initiation, your solitary trial, is not a sign that you have been abandoned. It is the ultimate sign that you have been chosen. The universe, your own soul, does not give its most difficult tests to its weakest soldiers. It gives them to its most promising warriors. It gives them to the ones it knows have the strength, the courage, and the capacity to endure the tempering, and to emerge as true leaders, as true masters, as true lighthouses for others. Your loneliness is not a punishment. It is an honor. It is a sign of the immense faith and trust that the universe has in you. It is the universe saying, I believe in you so much, I trust your strength so completely, that I am going to give you the most difficult and the most rewarding assignment of all, the journey of becoming a self-realized, sovereign, and fully awakened being. When you see this, when you truly feel this, your entire relationship with your own pain is transformed. The ache of loneliness is no longer the ache of abandonment. It is the ache of a muscle that is growing. The darkness of the trial is no longer the darkness of the void. It is the sacred darkness of the womb in which you are being reborn. You are not being punished. You are being promoted. You are not cursed. You are being crowned. And your loneliness is the heavy, and beautiful, and sacred crown that you have been given to wear. Your loneliness is not your curse, it is your coronation. If this journey has helped you to finally reframe your pain as your power, to see your trial as your honor, then help us to share this sacred message. Subscribe to The Hidden Voice. Like and share this guidance. Every interaction you make sends a signal of strength and purpose to another soul who is walking through their own sacred fire, reminding them that they are not being broken, but forged. Thank you for your courage to walk through the fire. Thank you for answering the call. Now go and wear your crown.